Welcome back to Keeping It Real. We have with us in the studio Michael Goldman from Purity Pest Control. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. We also have with us Radar, who's having a little snooze over there.
Relaxing over there,
He's chilling out. Beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Radar's an Australian Shepherd,
Yep.
and he's one of your staff.
He is. He's one of 4 dogs that we have that we deploy to sniff out termites or bed bugs.
So this is a very unique thing, dogs that are sniffing out termites and bed bugs. How did you get into this?
Well, as you know, dogs have been used for years to find drugs and bombs, etc., and there's a number of uses for them. And they've been used quite extensively in the States for termites. And every year I would go down to a trade show down there and I would see a trainer selling dogs for termites, and I was very curious about it, and I finally convinced my wife that this is something that we should do, and trained the dog for termites, brought him back, and we have a larger termite population in southern Ontario than most people are aware of. It used to be people only thought it was in the Beaches or East York. It's not. There's a huge termite infestation in Elora, Guelph area. And so it's all southern Ontario, and it was something that I thought that would complement my pest control company, which it has. Soon after that, though, bed bugs reared their ugly heads.
Right.
And it is the sort of plague du jour. It's a huge problem. They're cryptic, very difficult to detect. A human inspection is about 35% accurate. Because we're using our eyes, and I won't speak for you, but I'm getting older and my eyesight's getting worse, and trying to find a single bed bug in an office or an apartment or bedroom is very difficult. The dog is not using his eyesight, he's using his sense of smell, and the dog's about 95% accurate in detecting bed bugs.
How did this bed bug problem become so rampant? Is this just mainly a Toronto thing now? Or?
No. This is a pandemic. This is a full-blown pandemic, and bed bugs were never really wiped off in North America. They were controlled for the most part with DDT back in the 50s and 60s, and but they were in Europe, in Asia, South America. They were still prevalent, and there's a number of issues why they've taken hold so much in North America. One of them is travel. So you've got the ex-Eastern Bloc countries who now travel freely back and forth, bringing bed bugs inadvertently with them, as well as South America and Asia. Our chemicals have changed. The government has taken away the old organophosphates and carbamates. Some of you may know, have heard of Dursban or diazinon. Those chemicals would annihilate bed bugs right now. But they've taken them away because there was a lobby from a lot of people saying ban chemicals, ban chemicals.
Right.
And a wise man once told me, be careful what you ask for because you may get it. Now we don't have the chemicals to control the product, and the ones we do have, bed bugs are highly resistant to. So that's a problem. It's also target-specific products that we used. So for argument's sake, in an apartment, if someone had cockroaches, we would spray the baseboards and the cupboards and everything, and we would kill the cockroaches, but there was a collateral kill that we really didn't realize, and that was if there were bed bugs trying to take hold there, we were killing them. Unbeknownst to us. So there's a number of reasons why they're here, but they're here to stay for quite some time. And that's why I've been lobbying the real estate authorities to make it mandatory, full disclosure for bed bugs. If you've had bed bugs before and you've treated for them, people should be notified, because what's happening, and you're getting a lot of people, especially in the condominium market, that people have bed bugs, they've tried once or twice to get rid of them and they can't, so they're moving out. And they're and they're selling it and they're not telling anybody. And the new buyers, the purchasers, walk into a nightmare, into a living nightmare.
So where are these, I mean, you know, they're called bed bugs, but obviously people take their beds with them when they, you know, they throw out beds, whatever. What do they do? They hide in the carpet, I mean, the walls, where do these things go?
We find bed bugs everywhere. They're called bed bugs because that's what they were named years ago. You usually find them in the bed because that's where their host is going to be. They feed every 7 to 10 days. They know they'll find them there. However, you find them in the couches, you find them in carpeting, you find them in high chairs, in offices, filing cabinets. It's been documented, we found them in smoke detectors.
Wow.
And the ceiling.
So if you have a unit inside of an apartment building or condo building, whatever, that has bed bugs, is there a good probability those bugs will spread into other units?
It's possible they'll spread. A small infestation will not necessarily spread. The bed bugs have a food source, and
which are the people.
Which are the people, and so they're feeding there. However, when an infestation gets large enough, the females start to spread out a little bit, and we won't get into why, and all the biology behind it, but they'll start to spread out and find other places to congregate or aggregate. And that's when you start getting your infestation spreading to other units, other rooms in the house or apartment, and other units themselves.
So it's interesting. So this is largely because many chemicals that were used traditionally have been banned.
That's one of the main reasons is we just don't have the tools. The government takes away our tools, which is fine, but replace it with something which they didn't do.
Right.
And so we don't have the proper tools to control the problem. And what it boils down to is elbow grease, is using vacuuming with a HEPA filter and steaming, or using extreme temperatures, either steaming or freezing, rapid freezing.
So it's a pretty intensive process then.
It is, and it's not just a one-time visit. You have to come back at least twice for the treatment, because there could be some eggs that hatch that you didn't find, you didn't get to. Another way that it's being treated right now is heat treatments by heating up the entire unit, by heating up the entire house to about 160 degrees ambient temperature, and just basically baking whatever's in there.
Wow. Okay. All right. But you do have these remarkable dogs.
I do.
And we have Radar here, who's a lovely dog. Can we get Radar to come over and give him a little pat? We actually have some bed bugs in the studio.
Radar, come.
Well, not generally, but we brought some. Michael brought some today.
Radar was actually, we've had him since he was 7 weeks old. At 3 months old, I imprinted the odor on him. So at 3 months old, he knew when we came across bed bugs, he's to stop and sit. It's called a passive alert. Cody, who was going to be here, but my son left some chocolate in his bedroom before he went to school, and Cody found it, and so he's not feeling well today.
Oh.
But he's fine. Cody was the first dog in the world to be trained and deployed to sniff out bed bugs.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And now we have Radar, and you've got. Do the other dogs do
Yep.
the bed bugs as well?
Yep.
Okay. So let's do this test where we're going to put them to work. Radar, enough sleeping.
Come on, Radar.
We gotta get to work now.
So basically, what I did is I hid some live bed bugs in a vial, obviously, so we don't want to get them to
Good
get
thing
out.
they're in a vial. Okay.
The dog, as I said, uses his nose, so we're just going to walk a little. It's not much room, but we're going to walk along. When the dog finds it, he's going to stop and sit. It's a passive alert, and I'm going to ask him to show me, and hopefully he'll point with his nose or his paw.
Okay.
Ready? You ready to work? Come on. Come on, Radar. Radar. Seek, right here. Look right there. Right here. I'm almost asking him to sit, but he's not, because he hasn't found anything, which is great. Look over here. Good boy. Come on, Radar. Radar. Seek. 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 So he's saying he's found something. This tree's kind of freaking him out. Can you show me where it is, Radar? Show me. Come on. Radar, where is it? Radar, show me. Good boy. Good boy. Show me once more. Show me. Good boy. And
he's got them.
And he found the vial.
And we have a vial there with some live.
And all he cares about is this is his paycheck. He's just happy to get a treat.
It's good if you can get your staff to work for cookies.
Well, yeah, peanuts was my first choice, but that didn't work. So come on, Radar. And that's basically what it is. So what we're doing more and more, it's interesting that we're being asked by potential homeowners now, the purchasers. So you have a purchaser that's going to buy a house, they get a home inspection, which is so important. But the home inspector will not usually put his reputation on the line and say, you've got termites or you don't. So they'll call us in, and we have a dog that is specifically trained to sniff out termites. And we'll take them through the house, and if we find them, at least the purchaser knows going in that he's got something. Now, if it's in the Beaches or East York, chances are they're there, but to what extent, they don't really know, because if it's a finished basement, you can't see what's behind the wall or ceilings. I bring the dog in. If he alerts to the front of the house once and to the back of the house once, I say, you have termites in the house. If you like the neighborhood and the trees and the schools, etc., buy the house, have it treated, stop the bleeding, and just have it checked on a regular basis, and it'll be fine. But there's been 3 or 4 occasions when I've actually had the dog walk through, and it's alert, 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 alert. Now, I'm not a structural engineer, but I can tell by that many alerts there's a huge infestation here, and there must be some structural damage. And I've told the agent, if you care about your client, walk away.
Right.
My dog, unfortunately, is a deal breaker, but if the agent really cares about his client and wants to make sure his client's not going in and, to any unknown issues, then they bring us in. Now it's happening with bed bugs. Because of the problem that we're having in bed bugs in condos and in houses, we're getting clients and we're getting agents calling us up, can we do a bed bug inspection? The unit is it hasn't been emptied yet, the people still live there, or it's a new unit, the people who just moved out, can we go in? Before they move their stuff, do they have to do a treatment? And we'll walk in, and 9 times out of 10, there's nothing there. It's what I call a peace of mind inspection.
Right. Right. So that's in addition to the regular inspection that they would do.
Right, because there's no, I wouldn't go in and do a visual inspection and try to tell somebody you don't have bed bugs. Not finding a bed bug or not finding a bed bug in an insect monitor does not mean you don't have bed bugs. It means that you just didn't catch that one.
Right.
So we walk through, and it's basically just a walk through the unit, and if the dog finds something, he alerts. We try to do a visual confirmation. We try to find what the dog is alerting to, where it is. A lot of times you can't. It could be behind a baseboard. Same thing with termites. I get people, we do the inspection, and the homeowner is now upset because we found termites, and that homeowner now, because he knows about it, has to tell every potential purchaser, because of full disclosure, that you have termites. And they're saying, well, where are they? And unfortunately, I can't rip the wall apart to show you where they are. But one time, interesting story, I had an agent, and for some reason, real estate agents, it's always last minute. We need you now. We need you now.
Of course.
So the agent told me that the house that the purchaser wants inspected is on the west side of Jane and St. Clair. On the east side, they know they have bed bugs, but there are no bed bugs on the west side. Now, I would like to see those signs underneath the ground telling the termites you can not go any further. But anyways, I get to the house, and she says, yeah, you just go ahead and, you won't find anything. And she's on her BlackBerry playing around. I walk into the house, and this was one of those houses where it was alert, 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 alert. She comes in about 5 minutes later. She says, everything okay? And I said, no, this place is loaded. And she got really upset, and she said, prove it to me. And I said, well, I can't really prove it because the walls are finished. There was a shed out back that I took my dog, but there was wood with nails and stuff, and I couldn't take him in. So I walked in, and one of the support beams was all rotted out. It looked like moisture damage or whatever, and I broke a piece off, and sure enough, there was bed bugs there. Termites.
Termites.
Sorry. And so my heart races because now we're vindicated. She says there's nothing here, and I'm showing, look, I just pulled a piece of wood off, and it is. And she called the client. The client came over, and he says, show me. And I went back in again, and I pulled off another piece, and sure enough, there's termites there.
Wow.
And he asked me, is this enough to stop the deal? And I said, well, if you find one, it's enough.
Right.
And again, then I told the agent, who wasn't really thrilled about it because she had a sale just like that, I said, I would walk away if I was you.
Right. So to clean that up, the owners would have to tear down walls. It's probably a fairly major issue.
So the treatment of termites is soil dredging. In the States, they have other ways now to do it, but we'll never see those up here because we're such a small market. But basically, you have to drill into the ground every foot, 12 to 16 inches, along the footprint of your house, outside and inside. Then they drench the soil. These are subterranean termites that we have, and they live in the soil, and so they forage for food. They come back to feed the queen and the colony there. So when you treat the soil, the termites that are in the walls right now have 2 choices. One, they sense a chemical barrier and they retreat back, in which case they die because they need that moisture from the soil. They need to get back to the soil.
Right.
Or 2, they cross that chemical barrier, in which case they die. And so that's how you treat it. But when you have something that the dog is alerting to so many times, the structure, I've seen wood, termite-infested floorboards, etc. There was an article about someone in Louisiana. She went away on vacation. She walked in and her fridge was missing, and she just walked in and saw her fridge was missing, went back out and called cops. And the police came in, and there's a hole in her floor. The termites had, there
Wow.
was so much damage that the fridge, the weight of the fridge just basically dropped through
I
the
thought you were
floor.
going to say they ate the fridge.
No, they just dropped
They
through the
ate
floor.
the floor.
That's extreme, but it is important to know that termites
they can ruin your house.
over time. You know, I don't want to.
So this is very serious. I mean, people should, if there's any suspicion whatsoever,
You should know going in.
especially if you're buying a house.
You should know
Yeah.
going in. The worst house I've seen really was in Elora. And she had a wood pile beside her house, and every piece of wood that has soil to wood contact, when I moved the log, it was saturated with white. In about 2 seconds, you don't see any white anymore because they'll either go back into the log or into the soil. But just for that, for that
Wow.
second, it was amazing.
Wow, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something you definitely need to watch out for. Buying a house, owning a house, and your dogs can help to detect what could be amount to a very serious problem. Purity Pest Control. What's the website again, Michael?
It's puritypestcontrol.com.
PurityPestControl.com. Michael Goldman, thank you so much for being
pleasure.
with us today. And Radar, thank you very much, Radar.
He's
See you
out.
later, Radar. He's out. He's done his job for the day, so he's going to take the rest of the day off. Thank you so much, and thank you very much for watching Keeping It Real. I'm David Grossman. Until next time, happy selling, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.